So in case you haven't heard by now, The Acolyte has been canceled, not renewed, not moving forward. However you want to put it, it is no longer going to be a thing for Disney Plus. Now, I talked about this quite extensively on a live stream last night. You can go and check that out. It's like an hour-long discussion about this, but I just want to follow this up now that I've had a day to think about this and really talk about what it means for these channels and the Griftosphere in general, and how their celebration, I think they're doing it too quickly. They're not thinking about the road ahead and how this particular situation has destroyed their current narrative. It destroys their narrative. Everybody that buys into what they're selling, I want you to have a seat. I'm going to explain to you now why this destroys their narrative moving forward. This is actually for them, I think, the beginnings of the cracks in the walls where they're going to have to start shifting and changing the way they approach things for a lot of reasons. I'm not going to keep you long, but let's get into this, okay? So The Acolyte was canceled, and they want you to believe that Disney as a company puts identity, social stuff, culture, those things in the forefront above corporate interest, above making money. That is their argument, that they are focused on these things and they're willing to take a hit in their pockets, their bank accounts, their stocks, whatever it is, to push these things forward. Well, now this show has proven, at least in some small way, that their corporate greed, their corporate interest is not an afterthought on diversity, equity, and inclusion. It's not. It's on this for a while. That Disney as a culture war shit that these guys claim Disney is engaging in, they were not, and they never have been. It's always been sort of this cat and mouse game. Shows Disney as a company is in the business of making money. This show clearly did not hit the margins they wanted it to do, whether it be viewing time per minutes, episodes, momentum, whatever it might be. It just didn't work for them, so they canceled it. And they did that even while everyone involved with this project was suffering massive trolling and toxicity from the community. There were people in their DMs attacking them. They had to make response videos to stuff. There were so many things were coming after them. So much hatred, whether it be racist hatred, bigoted hatred, misogynistic hatred, sexism, whatever it is, they were dealing with it. And Disney said, we're good. And it doesn't shock me at all because Disney is a corporation. All of the things that these guys have been saying, lining people up against Disney as being this big boogie monster that only believes in DEI bullshit, according to them, just canceled a show that they said was the biggest DEI show in the history of Star Wars, of Disney. Now, here's what their spin is going to be. Their spin is going to be, this is the turning of the tides. They're going to use that as the turning of the tides. But in reality, this is worst case scenario for them, because if Disney is, for some reason, shifting the kind of media they make, that is a problem for them. It's an absolute problem. There's no way that Nerdrotic, Geeks and Gamers, Ryan Cannell, Critical Drinker, there's no way these guys do a turn in their content and start talking positively about Disney. So if Disney is trying to pander to this community, it is a lost cause. They're not coming back. Like I said on the stream, they're swiping left, they're closing it down, they're blocking them on social media. There is no reality where these guys shift and start supporting Disney or Star Wars or anything at the level that they were doing prior to making money off of this content. So if that is in fact what Disney is doing, it is a lost cause. And at the same time, that means they are alienating the people that they have courted for like 4 or 5 years now with this new content, and breaking that trust in that viewership by taking away content that people are getting invested in. So good luck, Skeleton Crew. Good luck, because that show is going to get blasted by these guys. Not only that, but now you have people that are feeling burned because you canceled a show that a lot of people loved. A lot of loyal people that were watching the show and loving it. So the guys that were complaining that you ruined their Star Wars, they're gone. They're not coming back. And now the people that you tried to court with the new Star Wars, they're gone. They're probably not going to trust you guys anymore. One more burn, and I can promise you the people that have been backing you up, they're not going to want anything to do with you either. So you need to be strong in your motives You need to have faith in your fandom. You need to have a little bit of loyalty, a little bit of time, because now these shows have a very narrow window of opportunity to be successful. We're talking 6, 8, less than 10 episodes. It is a very narrow window for them to create enough buzz and to sustain that buzz for them to be massively popular. Now, of course, you're going to have the outliers from that. You're going to have the shows that just go above and beyond. But these other shows, the shows like this, where there should be enough interest for them to at least get a season 2, so they could prove themselves and say, hey, the story's great. Look, the fans are sticking around. We're not even going to find out if fans are going to stick around because they're not going to give them a season 2. And this is a bigger problem in the roadmap of streaming television. There's a bigger conversation to be had. You're not going to find it with these guys. You're not going to find that conversation with them. They're literally just going to celebrate that the show is not coming back. Even though, like I said, it most likely, this is my gut feeling, it most likely had nothing to do with them. There were issues with The Acolyte, but the show itself was not an awful show, and it did have an opportunity to like do something big in season 2. But now we're not going to find out. So now we can't even see if people would have came back for the show. But these guys made so much money off of attacking season 1 of this show. They're really not happy about this. I can assure you they wanted a season 2. They wanted this show to continue. They want all of the bad stuff to continue for Star Wars. They have no interest in talking positively about Star Wars. And even if a shift were to happen, they would turn it into oppressive against diversity. They would shift it around and act like we're upset because now there's a show or a movie with a white guy in the lead. That's how they would frame that. It would never be a positive experience. So this is not a victory for them in any way whatsoever. They have to shift their narrative, and now they have to explain what Star Wars is doing with properties, because now that this has happened, they cannot claim that Star Wars and Disney take culture and all of that shit ahead of everything else. They can no longer do it. I also feel bad for everybody involved with this because they thought Disney had their back, and I had hoped that they would, but Disney's track record of just kind of letting things go, this is a big one. So if you are somebody who is going to work for Disney or Marvel or Star Wars or whatever, and you think that this company is going to support you, nope, you have to be strong in your own shit. You have to be a writer, a director, an actor, somebody that is very confident and strong, because the company is not going to support you. And I feel for Skeleton Crew because that is a predominantly child cast. So I feel bad that they're going to be stuck in all this, and they're going to have to deal with this, because trust and believe, these guys, now that this has happened to The Acolyte, it's only going to get even worse for every subsequent Star Wars property that comes out. So congratulations, Disney. You have really just given them a lot of fuel. And I feel bad for everyone associated with these projects. And if you are a fan of Star Wars and you're watching the shows and you're watching everything right now, I'm just going to say buckle up. It's going to be rough. I think Skeleton Crew, they're going to go really hard on that, because now that this has happened, they think they have some power. This has reinvigorated this anti-Star Wars movement. And it sucks, but it's not positive for them. But that's how they're going to take it. That's how they're going to take it.